everybody to our St. Francis month debate. The topic is cats or dogs. We have Dan Beers representing dogs for the purposes of this debate, and Sherry Hettinger is representing the cats. There will be a poll on our Facebook group. Feel free to weigh in, cats or dogs, and then watch the debate and see if you have changed your mind. There are no cats in the Bible, except in the Apocrypha, where they stand on the heads of idols to show them what's what. There are dogs in the Bible. They get a bit of a mixed review, but for the purposes of this debate, we know that all of God's creatures are beloved, that they are signs of God's blessings to us, and it's up to Dan and Sherry to persuade us which ones are more blessed than the other. By virtue of a coin toss, Dan Beers is going to present first on behalf of the dogs. Dan.
Good afternoon. When I was growing up, my sister had eczema, a skin allergy, so we couldn't have any animal companions, either dogs or cats. When Carolyn and I first got married, we got a cat. However, when we were having our first child, Carolyn developed an allergy to both cats and horses. So the cat had to go. She wasn't allergic to dogs, however. Since then, we have had 4 dogs, so I know both dogs and cats. I prefer dogs, although I sometimes wonder about this on cold winter mornings when it is time for our dog Sam to go on a walk. In thinking of the advantages of dogs versus cats, I'm reminded of comments from one of our parishioners about her dog. She said that it did not matter whether she had been gone all day or if she had just gone out for 10 minutes to pick up the mail. Her dog greeted her warmly no matter how long she had been gone. The same is true for Sam, our current pit bull hound mix. Whether I return from working at Dillard's all day or I have just returned from a brief errand, Sam is always there greeting me warmly. With cats, I never quite got that greeting. Instead, the cat's response was more like, "Oh, you're home? Please don't bother me. I'm taking my nap." As I said earlier, I concede that dogs are probably more work than cats, and sometimes I have second thoughts about having a dog on those cold, dark, winter mornings or evenings when it is time to walk Sam. But we always go for walks at least twice a day. And guess what? The exercise is good for me. So here's another advantage of walking dogs. That's all I have to say in my opening statement.
Thank you very much, Dan. Sherry, you have 5 minutes for your opening statement.
Hi, I'm Sherry. I've had both cats and dogs. I mostly like cats because they're usually allowed wherever I want to live, like in an apartment. Dogs aren't really permitted in a lot of apartments. I like them because you can leave them alone with a bowl full of cat food and a clean litter box and stay away a couple days. A dog, you can't do that. You'd have to have someone come in and walk him or her. And it's true, I get home and I say, "Hi, Abby, hi, Ziva, hi, Bob." And they look at me like, "Okay, where's food?" And I'm so glad I don't have to walk them in the wintertime. I'm glad they can go down to their basement and use their litter box. They're very independent, kind of like me. And they can be sweet at times. And other times they'll be drawing blood on my arms. The cons about owning a cat, they tend to scratch up furniture, and it's cruel to have them declawed, plus very expensive. But other than that, they're really very easy to keep amused. I bought this for my cats. It's a fish, and they won't go near it. And then I have this, and they won't follow it. Sometimes Bob will play with this banana. Even if I put catnip on it, there's no guarantees. But really, all they need is some yarn. That's what they need. And Abby likes ponytail ties. I dropped it. So Sarah left some of these for me, and I just aim it at the ceiling and she goes after it. And then treats. They love treats. All I have to do is shake this, they'll come running. I don't know what I'd do without my cats. Even though they're so independent, they're all three of them are different, but I love them all. Okay.
Thank you, Sherry. So now we will have 2 minutes for each person to respond to the other. So Dan, you're up one more time. 2 minutes to respond to Sherry's advertisement for the benefits of cats.
Well, unlike our political debates, I agree with Sherry more often than disagree. And I agree with I agree with specifically 3 things that she said. Number one, it seems like cats are a little more independent than dogs in their attitude and their approach to to the people that take care of them. She also admitted that dogs are more work as far as having to walk them and that sort of thing. And you can't leave them alone as much and as long as cats. And also, whatever kind of animal a person gets, it really does depend on their living space, where they can live, whether they're in an apartment or a house. And Sherry, you're absolutely right. I don't think high-rise apartments are really conducive to dogs in most cases. So I agree with all your comments about cats versus dogs. I just prefer dogs. And since I live in a house and I have room to have one, I prefer dogs to cats. And because Carolyn has her allergy, we have no choice. Unless we get fish or something else. So Sherry, I really like your comments, and I agree with those 3 points completely.
Thank you, Dan. Sherry, do you have any response to Dan's comments about dogs?
Well, I live in a house now, my own house, and I still don't have a dog because, like I said, I'm either working or doing something for church or visiting my grandkids, and you just can't take the cats with you or the dogs. I guess the dogs could go, but then they'd have to get used to my daughter's dog. They're just so independent, and I like that. And I know it's been hard for them since I started working from home due to the pandemic, because they would usually sleep all day, I found out. And now I'm here and I'm disturbing them. So, but I love them. I would be so lonely without them. even with Bob, who's really, he's really something.
All right. Well, this is a part that you have not prepared for, but I'm going to ask you a couple of rapid fire questions.
Oh,
So what is the smelliest thing about having a dog or a cat?
the smelliest thing I encountered with a previous dog is when they encounter a skunk.
Oh,
And you have to take care of that. And I didn't use tomato juice, but I used peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, and that did work, but it took a while to get the smell of the skunk out of the dog's hair.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine.
The smelliest part for me is cleaning out the litter box or opening a can of fish cat food, because the fish one just really stinks. It's terrible.
I was curious because I don't have a sense of smell, so none of that bothers me, but I can only
only get-
imagine.
I
What
split half between the three of them, and they'll eat it. But
What is the dog or the cat's greatest contribution to the sum of the knowledge of humankind?
I would say the dog's greatest contribution is in helping blind people and people with disabilities to survive and get along in the world. And that fact that dogs can help people, especially blind people and people that have other disabilities, and on our police force to do things that need to get done.
Mm. I've never heard of a police cat. Sherry, what have cats done for humankind?
just being there for us, because sometimes you'll feel sad or lonely, and occasionally my cats will jump up on my lap, or I have to go get them, but they'll sit there and let you pet them, and they'll let you be who you are and let you talk without interruption. And I like that.
Which are the better singers, cats or dogs?
Well, my Sam he doesn't bark all that much, and he doesn't howl or anything very much. So I really can't answer that very much, other than he once in a while he barks, but he doesn't howl and he doesn't sing. So
No, my cats don't yell, or sometimes Abby will get after Bob's, and she'll hiss at him, but that's about it.
They don't sing?
No, they don't. They don't. Right?
All right. Do you have a closing statement each?
I do.
Okay.
I really don't think it's really important whether you get a cat or dog, whatever fits in your lifestyle, but just to have that other person there so you're not alone. Someone you can talk to and pet and feed and clean the litter box out. I think it's really important to have someone else there besides TV.
I think that's a great final word. How about you, Dan?
Well, during this pandemic that we're experiencing, our homes and our families, our friends and our neighbors are very important. And the same is true for our animal companions. And in October, we celebrate all of our animal companions. So in closing, I agree with Sherry again. Whether you have a dog or a cat a bird, an iguana, fish, whatever. I think you should treasure them, take good care of them, protect them, and love them.
Thank you both very much. And I have to say, I wholeheartedly agree that having somebody to love, somebody to call the love out of us is a wonderful thing. So thank you to Dan and to Sam that I know is behind you there. And thanks to Shari and to Bob for coming to say hello. And maybe next time around we'll have a debate between rabbits and goldfish.
Okay.
But for tonight, from the cats and the dogs and the people of Epiphany, good night.
Good night.
Good night.